Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. I'm Ken. Today, guys, we are here to review The Sadness on 4K UHD. This is a Vinegar Syndrome partner label release under the Shudder partner label. So this was a Shudder film. I think it was on the Shudder streaming service. And then Shudder struck up a partnership with Vinegar Syndrome, and they started putting out movies through their label, and this was the second of that line, and it's a nice hard box edition. Look at that. Look at that right there. Freaking incredible artwork on this. In fact, I think I'm going to take this out of the slip box, and I think I'm going to show this while I talk about the movie. But I did show this off a couple of weeks ago on the channel. I think it was in one of my pickup videos, but I said then that I wanted to watch this and I wanted to review it and talk about it on the channel. But before we get into it, guys, hit the like button. This review is going to be all over the place, guys, as most of my reviews are. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We talk about physical media on this channel, Blu-rays, 4Ks, owning the movies that you love, all that stuff there behind me, back there, on this channel every single day. If you like that kind of stuff, hit that subscribe button. Also, comment down below. Did you see The Sadness? Like I said, this was a Shudder original. Came out in 2021. I don't know if it hit Shudder in 2021 or if it hit Shudder in... I remember it hitting Shudder last year. I remember this being like a movie that came out last year, but it might have been 2022. It just feels like it wasn't long ago that this movie came out. Yeah, The Sadness. Let me know what you think about this movie. Did you like it? Let me know your thoughts. Did you get this Vinegar Syndrome 4K release? Let me know all that in the comment section below. So I will say that I don't think that this hard box edition, in fact, I know it's not because it's sold out very quickly on the Vinegar Syndrome website. It's not available anymore, at least not the hard box edition. I think you can still get the regular standard edition, and it would be without the slipcover and everything, I believe, or maybe it still has a slipcover. I'm not exactly sure, on the Vinegar Syndrome website. But if that's not available on the Vinegar Syndrome website, it will be available on Amazon on July the 30th. So it's going to be a wide release on July the 30th, and you can pick it up on Amazon. It's available to pre-order right now for $44.98. I think I got this release for $36. So I imagine that's probably going to drop down to about $35 before it actually comes out. But Amazon prices just be wonky as hell these days. But let me put this back in the slipcover, or maybe I'll just talk about it in this case, because I think this is the original poster of the film. So let me talk about the movie first real quick, then we'll dive into the 4K and some of the special features, and I'll talk about all that stuff. This movie is directed by Rob Jabaz, who is a Canadian filmmaker, which I found to be very interesting because this is a Taiwanese film directed by a Canadian filmmaker. So I don't know quite how that works, but it works somehow. But as for the movie itself, this is a really awesome movie. I liked this movie a lot, actually, far more than I thought I was going to. There was just much more depth to this movie than I thought there was going to be. Like, there's a lot of great social and political commentary. Like, the movie was made in direct reaction to the lockdown and the quarantine and COVID from 2020. Like, it feels like that happened, and they were like, we got to make something that kind of responds to that, that reacts to that. And that's what this movie does, because it basically starts, there was some kind of a virus in this country, in Taiwan, and nobody died. Everybody was fine, but everybody was freaking out over it, and they were doing lockdowns, and people were saying that the government was trying to take control. Everything that everybody was saying during quarantine and COVID and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, well, first there's a guy that's like, well, we're still monitoring this virus, the people that had it, because we fear that it's going to mutate. Like, it's showing signs of there being some kind of like mutation later on down the line. And then basically what happens is one morning everybody goes crazy, and the people that were infected do turn into bloodthirsty monsters, creatures, infected, zombies, whatever you want to call them. I know some people get weird about, are they infected? Are they zombies? I get it. 28 days later, it's infected. Dawn of the Dead, it's zombies. It really doesn't matter to me. It's all the same thing. I mean, they're monsters. They're crazed creature, blood-sucking, bloodthirsty, deranged, maniacal monsters out to kill. But what's interesting about these zombies is that they're not just mindless zombies. Like, they actually talk and they speak and they have thoughts, and they're crazy and deranged, and they say messed up stuff to people. They taunt people. They they shit talk people. So it's like the zombies in 28 Days Later if they shit talked while they were killing you. Like they say crazy messed up stuff and then they rip your face off. Like it's that kind of thing, which just adds another layer of horror to it, in my opinion. Like it makes it a little bit scarier to have that taunting behavior from the actual undead creatures before they attack you. Like that makes it a little bit more methodical. To have the infected talking crap to you before they kill you, like that's just an extra level of like messed up. So I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the social political commentary on top of all the blood and guts and gore that was throughout this film. And my God, is there a lot of blood and guts and gore. But in addition to that, there's a lot of emotional depth to this film as well. I mean, it starts off with a couple that gets separated. She goes to work, he stays at home for the day, and then all this stuff happens, and they're trying to find each other again. So they're trying to get reunited. Like all this crazy stuff's happening, and they're going their separate ways. So you cut back and forth between the two of them throughout the movie, and it's an emotional story of two people in love trying to get back together. So there's a lot of heart to this movie. I heard people talking about this film, they're like, "Oh, it's crazy! Like, there's all kinds of insane, gross stuff all throughout the film." And I'm like, "Oh, is that all it is? Just one insane moment after another insane moment? They're just trying to top it? Is it like Terrifier 2, where there's just limbs flying everywhere and blood and guts and just no real meat or substance to the actual story?" That is not what this is. There's a lot of substance to this story. I actually thought the story was great. There's several like really good moments throughout that kind of, there's moments of kindness, that them trying to help other people along the way. And there's, people that are coming after them that they have to worry about throughout the movie. And it adds to that tension. It's not just mindless zombies ripping people apart the whole time. Like there's a lot of layers to this movie, and it builds and it builds and it builds, and it has emotional weight, and it has stakes, and it's a good social political commentary. And I think this movie just has a lot of depth to it, like underneath all the blood and the gore. And I just think it's an all around really good movie. So I enjoyed the sadness. The performances were top notch, like from everybody. Like the businessman on the subway, like he was freaking crazy and scary but freaking awesome. Like he was so good. And there's a couple people like that throughout the film that are just really creepy and really scary and really effective with their performances. So I enjoyed this movie a lot. And if you're thinking it's just a crazy, insane, mindless, blood everywhere, horror film, it is that, but there's more to it. So I appreciated that. And The Sadness, I think, is really a top tier horror film of the 2020s so far. Like if this might be like in my top 10 of the 2020s easily. I don't think it's been a great decade at all for horror films, but The Sadness really, really delivered for me. I thought this was an excellent film. For sure. So I definitely recommend the movie, whether you watch it on Shudder or you get this physical 4K. But getting into the actual 4K itself here, this is a native 4K and it has HDR10. And picture-wise, guys, like it looked excellent. Like I'm sitting here watching this 4K and it's clean and it's crisp. And look, it's a modern movie, and it's like at this point I just come to expect that. But the movie's got so much blood, and with that HDR, like it just looks like extra vibrant and rich, and it just really adds to it. And there's a lot of dark scenes that are just really fleshed out and have a lot of depth because of that as well. So the 4K was just top tier. It looked excellent. Every single frame of this movie looked excellent, crisp, clean, excellent across the board. I also popped in the Blu-ray, and to be honest, the Blu-ray looks really good as well. The Blu-ray looks really good. You can definitely tell the 4K is an uptick in overall resolution and quality, but the Blu-ray also looks excellent. I just think that with the HDR, that blood just looks just a little bit extra vibrant and rich, and definitely adds to the overall experience, I would say. So picture quality wise, guys, 4K looked excellent. One of the better modern films in 4K that I've seen, I will say. But getting into the sound, this is in Mandarin. That's the language that they're using, and it's DTS HD Master Audio 5.1. There are subtitles. There are English subtitles, but that is it. It is only English subtitles with this release. And to be honest, like I don't have a problem watching foreign films anyway, but like there are some movies where I'm like, I don't feel like watching this. I don't want to have to read and all that kind of stuff. I do get that way sometimes, but I didn't even notice it with this movie. I don't know if it's because they didn't have a lot of dialogue, but it was like I didn't even notice that I had to read. Like I was just watching the film and I was just so into it. Like I was engaged the entire time. But getting into the packaging real quick, and then we'll dive into the special features. I'll do another little unboxing even though I did it in the previous video. But you have the cover of the regular 4K case right there. You have the back with all the features and the synopsis and some images from the film. Just a really gory, violent film. On the inside, you got the 4K and you got the Blu-ray. I've got the Blu-ray in the player back there, so I don't have it in here right now. And you have a nice little booklet on the inside as well with some cool stuff on the inside. Some comic strips, I imagine some storyboards, and then you have some really cool information about the film. I don't think this one had a reversible cover. No, it doesn't, but it has like an image on the inside, which is weird. That they have an image on the inside without a clear case. It's like, what's the point? Like you have to take it out. It's not like I'm gonna flip it and use that as the reversible cover art. But that's the case, the 4K case, and like I said, they have the slip cover as well with a really cool image, like from the subway in the film. This scene, like with this guy in particular, was freaking gnarly as hell. Like this entire movie's gnarly as hell. But this scene with this guy, like, is nuts. Like freaking nuts on the subway. So that's a great scene in the movie. I don't want to spoil anything, guys. And then you got all these heads on the back. That woman's freaky as shit too. She had me like on the edge of my seat watching her. And then we've got the slip box, a side loading slip box right here. So really cool packaging for this release. Now getting into the special features, you have a new feature audio commentary with the director Rob Jabaz and composers. I cannot pronounce that name, but the composers are involved in the audio commentary. New feature audio commentary with film critic Simon Abrams. So you have 2 new audio commentaries here. And I think some of this stuff's archival stuff from that other release that came out. But we have feature audio commentary with director. So there's 3 audio commentaries, but 2 of them are new and 1 of them is old. You have 4 previously released featurettes, SFX, director, art director, and businessman. So those are the previously released featurettes. You have a new featurette called The Production, which goes into the making of the film, the behind the scenes stuff, which is really good. And you have a new video essay by Sam Dagan, I believe is how you pronounce that. That's a really great film essay, just talking about the history of Taiwanese filmmaking and how they were, occupied by Japan for a certain number of years, and that kind of stifled their film industry for a while, and how they only really have emerged in the past like 20 or 30 years. So that's a really good film essay. You got 2 exclusive short films, Clearwater and Fiendish, in here as well. Fiendish Funnies, sorry guys, both from director Rob Jabaz. So you have 2 of his short films in here, the directors. You have a virtual interview with the director Rob Jabaz. You have color grade comparison, which is a cool feature that goes into the color grading of the film and what went into that. Fantasia Festival award presentation, numerous theatrical trailers. So this thing is stacked, guys. You got tons of great special features here, some archival stuff. Plenty of new stuff to dig into as well. If you got that other release, you've got new stuff here with this release as well. So all around, guys, look, you cannot get this release from the Vinegar Syndrome website anymore. The slip box edition. I think you can still get the regular edition though, but it will be on Amazon shortly on July the 30th if you want to get it. But I highly recommend this. I highly recommend this because the movie's great. I think the movie is legitimately great. It's one of the best horror films of the 2020s. I can guarantee you that. I really enjoyed the film. The 4K looked great. It's got a really good amount of special features. So this one to me is a top tier recommendation. I really enjoyed The Sadness on 4K. So that's my review. Thank you all so much for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you've seen The Sadness, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Turn on those bell notifications for all future videos and follow me on all of my social media accounts. Those links are down below in the description, and we'll see you next time.